we've followed Danniella Westbrook as she's lived the highs and lows of growing up in the spotlight. Take a look.
Being left with nothing from my marriage and moving my kids into a bedsit this year was really difficult.
Being a drug addict, you do bring a lot of stuff on yourself because you've always had a relationship with drugs before you've had a relationship with anything else.
For me personally, I've made a lot of mistakes. I put my hands up. I said, you know what, I did that. I relapsed because I wanted to.
I had all my top teeth out and implants put in on screws. It started to swell that would give me septicemia. A whole lot of it just spiraled me into a depression coming out of Big Brother. Should have been my busiest year. When you relapse and you take drugs, you don't see that.
Yeah.
All you see is selfishness and a way out. Yes, I'm happy. I'm doing some bits and, you know, I've got some very good friends around me. I can't complain. The British public are great with me.
You're so honest.
I'm too honest sometimes. I think that's my problem, but yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. Well, now Daniella is about to write a new memoir in which she says she's determined to make her 50s happier than ever, and she joins us now.
Hello, guys.
So good to see you.
It's really good.
I nearly fell over when it said you're nearly 50.
I know.
Actually, we shouldn't even be going
Well,
with
I'm
50.
next year. No, I'm looking
This
forward
year
to it.
you're
I'd like
49.
to be 50 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't waste your life away.
So, you know,
embracing
I'm
it.
happy to be alive. It's like, after everything I've put myself through, I'm just so excited to hit 50. I'm waiting to be a nanny. Hopefully, kids get going on it, please.
But hang on, they're not expecting at the moment or anything.
No,
You
no,
just
they're
want
not.
them to
I
have
keep
kids.
pushing it.
Want them to.
Love
They're all
it.
career-minded and, you know, driven, so that's great, but I'm driving them to get
Shut up,
children.
Mum. Oh, dear, get it to me.
No, they're buying puppies.
She's
and
rushing
things
her
instead.
50s.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I want to be 60.
And do you know what? I'm just so happy with this chapter that I'm in, and I think I needed to. I just needed to get there myself, and it's all the recovery stuff's great, but it was just learning how to like me a little bit.
Yeah.
And how have you done that? Because obviously you've been through so much. You're on the other side now. How have you got to that
I'm
place?
working through lots of stuff still. I think putting the drugs down really is one of the easiest parts, but it's putting the ego down that really is the hard bit.
Yeah.
The ego is what kills you. You know, it keeps you out of the rooms and it makes you relapse and it keeps you in the room. But yeah, it's a really hard balance. But for me, I found a fantastic therapist, a woman with 28 years under her belt from North London, been through so much like me, wasn't a clock watcher, and just said to me, you need to deal with this, 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 this and this, and own your crap. And I was like, no. She was like, no, you need to, or you're not going to have anyone or anything, or you're not going to have much of a future. And she just slowly started to pick away and work with me. I did a lot of inner child work, did a lot of spiritual therapy.
So that inner child work, I always wanted to know what it is. What is it? You go back to when you were, like, 8 years old and you work out what went wrong?
For me, at 8, 9 years old, like coming into the studio here today, the building that you're in, it's hard work for me to come to this building because of growing up here as a child in the industry.
OK.
So I find that quite traumatic, but it's another milestone I've passed. I've come to a happy show. It's a new time, new memories. I've worked through all that stuff. It's behind me. And, you know, you don't drive along in a car looking in the rearview mirror.
Exactly.
You check it every now and again to check yourself and you keep going forward, and that's pretty much life, isn't it?
What do you think is... There obviously wasn't one moment where you woke up and went, OK, I need to change my life. So is it just...
I could have said that every day and I'd just be lying.
Right. So is it just chipping away, slow process, therapy and meetings as well?
Loads of meetings.
Yeah.
I have to, you know, I'm a sponsor and I work a 12-step programme and I work, you know, I work every day on a Gratz list. I do my resentments at the end of the day. I check in. I'm of service.
Do you know, it's funny, I've got mates on 12 steps and what you can learn from them, you know, I'm very lucky, I'm not blessed with an addictive, I'm blessed with an addictive personality. But what I learned so much from my mates that are in 12 steps, like, you know, the sort of sense of gratitude and, you know, and knowing that it's all... And like you said, it sort of goes back to ego, doesn't it? It's checking
yourself. It's hugely about ego. And in this industry, ego's a huge thing, as we know, and fame's the most addictive thing of any drug. Yeah. And ego's secondary. That's why I look at these reality shows and I just think, oh, God, you know, people don't realise if they've got any of the isms, they really are screwed. But, you know, I look at it and I think that's such a big message to get across to people that I have so many people message me and ask, how can I get well or how can I do stuff? And I'm like, do you know what? I just say, what area are you in? Let me get your meeting list. I'll ring the secretary at that meeting and say, can you get somebody to help this person? Just connect. That's being of service. Yeah. You know, and it's like, so many people think about going to rehabilitation. You don't need to go to rehab. All they're going to do is detox you. You need to get yourself to a meeting. It's free. You know, it's there, and you're not going to say anything in that room that's not going to upset anyone.
Rather than the Band-Aid, you go to the problem.
You don't need to spend thousands at it. And, you know, unfortunately, the NHS system hasn't got a huge amount of resources for rehabilitation or depression and things, but there's meetings for that, and then they're free. go and do it, and you get well just by being around other people.
What's amazing is so many people now with issues are coming to you on Instagram, social media, coming to you for help. I mean, can you keep up with it?
When I relapsed a few years back, I couldn't speak to anybody because I was being a fraud. I thought, I can't talk to people because I'm being a fraud. And I'm just like, do you know what? No. I can. I deal with it now. I deal with it because I'm OK. But I have to say to them, listen, I'm not a therapist. I can only point you in the direction of that. And then, you know, you need to do it yourself.
So you don't want to put too much strain on your shoulders either.
I'm a real empath, so I take other people's stuff on board and I have to just cut like that. That's why my agent and everyone runs my social media pretty much.
Are you a sponsor? Do you sponsor people as well?
I don't sponsor people at the moment, but I do a lot of live talks and stuff for people, and I do shares and things. And I do a lot of stand-up speaking as well about, you know, all this sort of stuff and trauma.
I just wonder if people who are getting into the industry in whatever way, whether it's music or acting or showbiz or presenting, really, like they could probably learn a lot from your story. What would be the big take-homes do you think you'd?
For me, I'm doing a life coaching workshop and holistic workshop, spiritual stuff, and I'm just getting people into just learning about themselves and listening to their gut instincts. You know, staying true to themselves, staying around your own friend group, stay wholesome, don't get carried away. And I think we could all, I know it sounds a bit Americanised, we could all do with a bit of therapy now and again. Just someone to check in with.
Good
that's
to
an
talk,
outside
isn't
base.
it?
Yeah. And that's what brought up the story for me of writing this book with my son. Other than with the memoirs, I'm writing a book that I want to get into every rehabilitation centre and drug and alcohol unit. And it was my son's idea of writing a book. Only 10 chapters, and I do a chapter about how my relapse was set up in my head. And then he'll do a chapter of seeing my change, of being 14 years clean and how my behaviour changed. And then I'll do my chapter for the relapse, and then he'll do it from his point of view. And it will go along right until I got well again. And it was Kai's idea, and he said, I think it's really important for people like me that aren't an addict to understand where you're coming from, because sometimes family therapy is too heated. So if you read it, so I'm understanding where he's coming from, he's understanding where I'm coming from. And I think for family members of drug and alcoholics and addicts in general, and I think that we'll be able to understand each other's situations a little bit more, the way we're built, without the arguments and the tension that comes
How are you enjoying being a writer?
I really like it, but it's really hard work.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm quite articulate, but can't spell. But I am going to think I'm going to get a ghostwriter for the last part of this. This is my third autobiography, and I've always had a ghostwriter. But I think I'm going to get a ghostwriter to come in and just to help me re-arc the end of it. And
you have got the most amazing kids, Kai and Jodie. How are they? Are they good?
They're really good. Yeah, they're both home. Well, Kai's at home today. He's off work today, and Jodie is at work. But hi, guys. There they are.
And I just love that you're in such a good place at the moment. I know, I can't believe it.
Kai said, what are we planning? What are we planning? The Queen's Jubilee, this 21st birthday for Jodie. So, yeah, it's all good. I'm so lucky to have them both back in my life, and Kai's always been there, but to have Jodie back and my mum, you know, and they was always there. It was just me that had to come home.
And obviously you don't have to tell me who it is, but have you got love in your life as well?
Yeah, I'm in love with myself, Alison, for the first time. I like myself. You know, I am with somebody, but do you know what? I'm just happy. I'm just happy with who I am, and I just need you to learn that I'm OK.
That's so
I'm
lovely.
all right with that.
Great.
It's good to see you, and I can't wait for the memoir.
And next time you're in a Formula 1 car, Ayrton's going to take you out, Jodie's fella. Next time you're in one, I want to watch. Oh, come on, you have to. Best thing I've seen on television.
I don't know if I can do it again, but I'll think about it. I'll call you. Oh, Danielle, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. And
I love watching you guys. Can I just say a huge thank you to your makeup team? Tamsin, and I can't remember the other lady's name. It's a really unusual name, but they spent so much time on me today and gave me lots of effort and love, and they're really kind.
Honestly, thank you so much.